Give me a big hooty hoo. And we've got my co-host, Mr. Robert Kennedy. Robert, how are you?
I'm good. I come here, they feed me, and I yell hooty hoo a bunch of times. It seems to work out for everybody.
Sounds like a pretty good job.
It is.
ATI, how about you, buddy?
I'm good.
Adam Crooks used to be intern, now just a regular part of this
He's
game.
just a crook.
Yeah, just a crook.
I
Does a good politician imitation. But
that last week of fantasy.
Actually, I'm playing Hun this week.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I need you to win this week.
I'm
then.
projected to lose by 19.
wow.
That's close. By Hun standards, he's killing people.
Yep. All right. So
you were projected to lose by about 25, and you beat me.
Well, yeah, and I beat you with Aiden O'Connell.
the Purdue quarterback.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about Purdue.
Or fantasy football. We're here to talk about the Owls. KSU.
The Owls.
Catch us up, ATI, on what's happened this weekend on campus.
Well, since we've been off, there's been a lot that happened. Football played its last game of the season against Virginia Lynchburg. We won 63-3.
That was a whooping.
In fact, we beat them so bad that
How bad was it?
they shortened the fourth quarter to 12 minutes instead of 15
Did they
and
really?
had a running clock for the entire fourth quarter.
That sounds like Georgia high school football.
Yeah, it was not great.
Actually, it was great.
If you go
Well,
check
it was
the
great
tape,
for us. It was great for
Absolutely.
us.
If you go check the tape, Robert picked us to win by 14. I said 28. So, go me.
Yeah,
for
we
once.
won by 60.
Yeah, that's the only thing Chuck's gotten right in the last 4 months. So yeah,
I don't know about that.
I would hang my hat on that one too,
I'm
sir.
41-31 in college. That's 10 games over. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's with a bunch of people who.
Who also don't know.
Aren't you? Don't know ball.
Yeah. All right. Continue, ATI.
The women's cross country team, my bad, finished 11th in the NCAA South Regional in Gainesville. And then we played a lot of basketball. And I mean a lot of basketball. The men lost to Florida State. The women beat Life. The women then lost to Georgia State. And then the men beat Kaiser, which is actually a game I was at. It was a great game.
Was it in Germany?
I thought
No.
Kaiser was a roll.
I thought it was Permanente.
I believe Simeon Cottle had 18 in that game.
Beautiful game.
He's been playing fantastic
He
all
has.
year. And then the volleyball went down to Fort Myers, Florida for the ASUN tournament. We won our first game against North Florida and then fell to FGCU.
In the semifinals.
Yeah.
And we got Coco Brown going to come on in a minute. We're going to talk about the game a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the last-minute shot Damon Robinson hit.
Yes.
That was against Northeastern, right?
That was the Northeastern game.
And that was on the
last
road,
Monday.
right?
That was fantastic.
And I think Cottle, or was it Burrell that drove down the court?
It was Terrell Burden
passed it off
him,
to
yeah.
Damon and hit a shot at the buzzer to win 79-77.
And then we lost on a half-court shot the next day.
Did we really?
Yeah, to East Carolina.
Wow.
It's
80,
crazy how they
85,
give it
84.
and they take it away.
Yeah.
The Owls give it, or the basketball gods give it, then they take it away. That's
Yeah,
wild.
we were 2-1 in Greenville in our 3 games. We beat Georgia Southern, beat Northeastern, lost to East Carolina.
That's the same thing we did up there last year for a 3-game spread.
Yeah, yeah.
We lost to Campbell last year.
We
Camels.
we played. The women played at Georgia Tech.
Wasn't so good.
We didn't win the game. But our freshman guard Sophia Rappel was 5 of 8 from 3 that night. So I mean that's. That anytime you can go 5 of 8 from 3
It's something to build on.
is pretty good.
Absolutely, and I'll just throw out there that when you're playing a higher level of competition like that, the girls are a little longer. So she's able to go 5 of 8 against a big long team like Tech. It could only bode well in our regular season.
Yes, she is.
In our conference season, yes, sir.
And she's a true freshman. I
That's
believe
really good too.
I believe
Where's she
she's. She's from Florida. I want to say Lakeland, Florida.
She's from
you want to say it, go ahead and say it.
Florida.
What?
So if you want to say it, go ahead and say it.
The land of the. I don't.
You said I want to say Lakeland, Florida.
Oh.
I said if you want to say it, go ahead.
The women then beat Florida Atlantic. I was also at that game. We won by 14. It was a good game. I believe we were up 18-2 at the end of the first quarter.
And the girls are playing as we speak over at the Convo
Yes,
Center.
they
right?
are playing Chattanooga. Chattanooga is 6-1 on the year.
The Mocs.
It's gonna be a tough game. Game started about
o'clock.
5 minutes ago. So
Will
you know,
Thrill Renfro came by to see us on
he
his way to
did.
the game.
He
and,
did.
I
It
should
should
have had
be.
Will check in with us.
It should be a good game. I hope we can beat Chattanooga.
Who are we talking about
little
earlier?
payback.
Sophia Rappel.
Little
Sophia.
payback because the Mocs beat us in football, right?
Yes, they did.
Oh, she's from a big school. She's from Bishop Kenny. That's in Jacksonville. That's one of those. It's not IMG, but it's one of those schools. It's
And
a
what's
hard.
what's the school Chipper Jones went to in
He got
Jacksonville?
his GED.
No, he went to a private school in
I do not know.
Jacksonville too. I can't remember.
I do
It
not
could
know.
be Bishop Kenny. Bishop Kenny
No, it's
is
not Bishop Kenny.
Is
I'd
that-
know it if I heard it. Yeah.
But Sophia Rappel, she didn't play in the second half of the FAU game, which I thought was odd. But I mean, she's a fantastic shooter. She won the women's 3-point contest in Owl Madness. She went up against Simeon Cottle, and I believe she lost by 2 or 3
Bowls.
threes.
I think it's Bowls.
the Bowl School.
Bowls
Yeah.
school, yeah.
So, you know, it's exciting stuff going on the women's team and the
Absolutely.
men's team.
When do the guys play again?
The guys play again on Saturday. We have a double header, which I think is going to be fantastic. I believe I'm going to be at both
Guys
games.
and girls game?
Yes, the men play at 1 against Georgia State, the I-75 Challenge. And then the women play at 4 against Coastal Georgia.
Wow. I love the
Brunswick.
Owls, and I'd love to be there, but Saturday's going to be all about football
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
I'm just excited, and I hope we win the I-75 Challenge. Nothing would make me happier than
No.
saying we are the kings of I-75.
Well, you know,
That would be cool.
We talked about it last year when we were the only team to go to March Madness. Clearly, we're better than Georgia and Georgia Tech and all
Yeah.
that other good stuff. But honestly, truthfully, moving forward, these are your biggest games because whoever you're probably looking to recruit, so is Georgia State, so is Georgia Southern. So these are big games.
Well, what's the other significance of that game? That's the number 1 and the number 2 largest colleges in Georgia.
Yeah,
Playing
yeah.
against each other.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Georgia State's right down the road. It's just let's just hope we can beat them.
Let's hope. I'll be
We can
watching
do
on
it.
the computer. All right, Robert.
I will also. Actually, I'll probably be courtside, but
ATI, we thank you for stepping in as always. And
Did he just name drop with where he'll be?
no,
Probably
he,
courtside.
I'll be
he
courtside.
place dropped. He didn't
Place
name
drop.
drop. Yeah.
Place drop.
Unless he said, I'm courtside with Carrick Martin, then that would be.
I'll be courtside with Carrick Martin
See, now he's name dropped.
and Nolan Alexander.
Is he the announcer?
Yes.
He sucks. He's horrible.
I cannot say that. He might be my future boss. I love you, Nolan. Best friends.
Yeah. Kiss, kiss. Okay. All right, Robert, let's get this Express Lube commercial out of the way.
Chuck's opinions are only his opinions and do not reflect the show's integrity to KSU athletics. Thank you.
Hey, I love my jackets, and I hated Al Seraldo, too. So,
There are a lot of places to get your oil changed in the Kennesaw area, but if you're looking for a personal experience, then stop in at Castrol Kennesaw Express Loop or Lost Mountain Express Loop. We'll always do our best to get you in and out quickly, safely, and without a whole lot of fuss. We're a true owner-operated business where you'll find Brian under a car or a hood at one of the shops. We offer experienced, knowledgeable technicians and the latest computer software to help you maintain your new car warranty and keep your pride and joy running for the next 100,000 miles. We proudly offer Castrol products.
and we thank you, Brian Bristow, for changing Robert's oil last week. A couple of weeks ago.
I was here, and there was an ATI over there, and then I looked up, and man, we have upgraded from ATI. Sorry, buddy.
Yes, we
Well,
have.
that hurts.
Everybody, give me a big hootie hoo for Coco Brown.
Hootie hoo!
Did y'all hootie hoo over there? Okay,
They
just
hootie
did.
hoo.
They
Right,
did
man.
hootie hoo.
All right.
We got goggles over there.
All
That's
right.
good.
So Coco is the world famous setter from the KSU volleyball team, and you've been with us before, haven't you, Coco?
I have.
These guys are trying to tell me you hadn't been on, but I say, yeah, she has.
So how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're
Doing
good.
great. So season's over. You had your wrap-up meeting today, you told me? Mm-hmm. All right. Give us a summation of the KSU volleyball season.
Ooh, okay. So we started off preseason, we went to Montana, which is a crazy experience, especially for me because I've only flown once since then.
Oh, wow.
So that was like
I think we talked about that on the show last time.
That was so much fun. I got to play in my first ever college game. And then from there, we went on a stretch. We won against Mississippi State. We won against Wake Forest.
I was there for that. That was a magical night. That was an awesome night.
Yes, and I was back up until maybe midway through conference. I got to come in, and since then, I just took over. I got a couple awards, and we got all the way to the semis, and then we fell short to Gulf Coast, which is another good team, and it was a great year for us.
How many sets did it go?
4.
4 sets?
4 hard sets. Our game was over 2 hours, and it didn't even go to 5 sets. It was the longest match I probably ever played in my life.
Well, the Wake Forest match was long, too.
Oh, yeah.
That was 5 sets, but yeah.
So 18-11 overall and 10-6 in the conference. That's pretty good stuff. And like you said, now the first time you were on the show, you had never actually competed at the college level.
No.
But now we have now taken that away, and we are a grizzled veteran at this point, correct?
Oh.
See what happens if people...
Somewhat. Veteran, maybe after next year, yeah.
Well,
Well, no.
See what
There's a
happens
friend-
to people that come on our show? They get uplifted.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, next year there's gonna be a freshman sitting next to you, and she's gonna be looking at you like, tell me some answers, because you've been through this, you've done this, you've been on a plane that went to Montana.
Oh, yeah.
Does Coach Schunsel use the players as part of the recruiting that he's ever introduced them to new recruits, or can you even do that?
Well, whenever we have recruits come on their official visit, they always spend a little bit of time with the team, whether it's like just staying in the locker room with us or like they have the luxury to stay with us. And Coach loves my room. We have 3 new amazing freshmen who never get to host visits. It's always us. And sometimes we just want to not have to worry about that. But I actually do enjoy getting to know the girls that have that could possibly be coming here.
Sure.
Yeah, like it's good to see what they're like. What's their personality? Are they shy? Are they outgoing? And meeting their parents, their family is really fun.
Well, I'm sure Coach Schunsel does a lot more than just look at the talent. He probably looks how are they going to meld with the other team members and all that.
Yeah, and I guess he leaves that up to us because I think I've hosted or helped host at least like 8 visits, and I'm like, Coach, I need a break. And he's like, nope, you're doing great.
Well, no, and that's the whole thing. If you're coach and every time a recruit leaves, they got a smile on their face. Well, guess what? You're getting another roommate next week. That's the way it works.
Yes.
Now, if everybody starts going, yeah, thanks a lot for everything, and you'll probably, but we don't want to do that because talent level, talent.
Yeah. So I got to ask you something, kind of a little off subject, but Coach Schunsel's your coach.
Mm-hmm.
You're going back to work at Dogwood.
Yeah.
Right? So Carrick's your boss. Who's the better boss?
Oh, my gosh.
Carrick, we're talking about you over here.
They're trying to be messy. Who's the better boss? I guess I would have to say the man that makes sure I am on full ride. So
there you go.
Solid answer.
Carrick is amazing as well. Yes.
Oh, Carrick, we asked her between Keith Schunsel and you, who's the better boss since she works for you and plays for Keith? Yeah, she said Schunsel. She said the guy that gives me the full ride.
She was a little slow on her answer, but I think that's because you were probably in the room. So,
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow. So who do you lose this year off the team?
We lose 5 amazing seniors, and 5 people that I can genuinely say I will talk to after they leave. Like Emma Sherfront, Lainey, Shelby, Lou, and Claire Parsons. They're all been major people to our team, and we will miss them so
We've had
much.
2 of those on the show. We've had Emma and Shelby, I think we've had on the show. Were they on with you, or did you come on by yourself?
I think I was solo.
You do a good
Solo.
job. And not Hans or
No, she's not. She's not.
there was also a Hope solo, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we're not going there because she beat people up and stuff. So.
Oh, God.
Coco, she doesn't.
Coco's she's just good.
She's just Coco.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the roster right now. Is McKinley Ferguson have an extra year? Is this one of those?
She does, but she's decided not to take it.
Okay.
And she wants to graduate in May and just go on with the next chapter, yeah.
Cool.
Wow. So have have they already committed? The 5 people that came and visited with you, have they already committed?
We have 4. 4 committed. We're trying to get one more. I'm pretty sure she has not committed yet, but I hope she does.
The
So.
problem is that they all want to live with you. They're like, I don't want Coco as my roommate.
Do they want to live with me? I don't know.
Hey, they put you with them, and then they still wanted to commit afterwards. I think there's a decent chance they might want you as their roommate.
Well, I'm so sorry to tell them.
So
That won't be happening.
So you had you call it your end of season meeting today?
Yeah.
With Coach Schunsel. Is that one-on-one or is that a team?
It's one-on-one with all of our coaches, so it's 4 of us in the room.
Ooh. Is that a little scary for you?
No, I have like a really good relationship with everybody where I can just be goofy and be myself and mess with Keith, and it just works out gladly.
So what did he tell you today, if you can share it with us?
He said that he was so proud of me, that I grew so much this season, and like my first point of like what I did good was I said I was very confident. He said, yes, you were very confident, and I was like, that's something that I struggled with coming into college, being intimidated by so many people.
Sure.
And playing in a new level where people are hitting faster, doing everything at a faster speed. And all my coaches just had nothing but great things to say, and we talked about one thing that I could work on, which is like being a leader when things go wrong. And that's something that I'll continue to work on as we go through this in the spring. So, yeah.
So how much of a change was it from high school to college for you?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm from Alabama, so volleyball is not a big sport. It's more of a football, you know.
Well, Emma was from South Alabama, wasn't she? No.
She's from, no, it's,
Who was the other girl we had on? And we actually had her coach from high school call in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I can't remember who it was. Do you remember, Larry?
Was that Lauren Chastain?
Laura Chastain.
Oh, Lauren
that's right, it was.
Chastain, yes.
Yeah,
I actually played against her high school
Did
a
you?
couple times, yeah.
So you were down around Mobile, right?
no, she's a Birmingham girl. You are.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We never went to them, but like in regionals and stuff like that, we all played each other at some point. So that was cool.
So you were named Setter of the Week twice. Is that conference?
Yes. Yes. I was so excited.
So tell me this: how long have you been a setter for? Because I know I've learned a lot about volleyball since I started doing this job, and you might be a setter now, but you at your high school level, you were the biggest. So were you a setter there?
I have been a setter since I touched the ball.
Really?
Yeah. I knew I wanted to play, and everybody wants to be an attacker.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really wants to pass, but I didn't want to pass either. And it's like, who wants to set? Nobody, just me. I don't even know what setting is. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. They give me a basketball. They didn't even give me a volleyball first. They gave me a basketball. Say, go to the wall and just set. And I was like, well, I'm stuck here. I've never.
Just go sit in the corner, Coco. We'll get back with you in a little bit.
Exactly. And that changed my life because I don't know. I'm a lefty. I could have gotten up there and attacked, but I'm not the biggest, not the tallest. I don't jump the highest. I do have a little hop, but not that much. So I'm grateful that I raised my hand to set. So.
And never look back.
Never look back. I love it so much.
Let me ask you, what was your record in high school against your most hated team? Would that be Parker?
I wish. Actually, I feel like we had a really good rivalry with Jasper, which is where Lou went. I actually played her a couple times. Her senior year, it was my sophomore year, and I got pulled up to varsity. Whew, I was scared of her. I was scared of her.
So this position that Shelby plays,
Yeah.
what's it called?
Libero.
Yeah. Any chance of you moving into that?
No, not a chance. Defense is something I have learned to love. Love-hate relationship for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. So has Coach Schunsel got somebody to move into that spot, or did they have somebody backing up Shelby already?
Well, she pretty much earned her spot wholeheartedly. She's been growing for at least 3 years. But we have 2 amazing DSs that played alongside her that are now going to be competing for that spot next year. So
all off season, he's going to just have you diving. He's like, not only are you a great setter, you're the best digger we've ever seen.
hopefully. I mean, I want to be better at defense. It's so hard when somebody's hitting their hardest ball at you. You're like, honestly, I'd rather get out the way.
No, I want to turn. I want to turn my head. Absolutely.
You get hit once in the face, and then you're like, all right.
I don't want to get hit once in the face.
I tell you, that crowd at the Wake Forest game was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
It was packed that night. It was really, really good.
Yes, it was so fun. Even I didn't really play that game, but I just had fun cheering on everybody and just interacting with the crowd, listening to my coach. Everybody was just locked in. It was so much fun.
I was sitting right behind Coach Keith for the first game or whatever. And then I didn't realize you were going to move benches over the other side. So I went up with Seth, Will, and Garrett for the rest of the match. But that's interesting down there. Yeah, it is.
A lot of people that sit close to the bench, they start to see, oh my God, like the conversations that happens between players and between the coaches and the players, and it's a lot. A lot of people don't realize it, but sometimes we love each other, sometimes we're holding each other accountable. So yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
But because you guys are so open and you have these types of communications so often, when you do have your meetings like you did today, like you said, there's nothing any four of these people haven't already told me I need to, because they're telling you as it's happening. And then today's just kind of a review. Do you remember all the things we told you should work on? And,
Yeah, going into my meeting today, I was just so happy, and they were like, what is this glow? Like, I was like, I don't know, Thanksgiving break did it, and we started talking, and I was like, yeah, I want to work on those things, and that's something since the end of the season that I have been reflecting on, just as they have. So
what does Coco do now that the review's over? What's the next steps for the volleyball team?
So we have a break until January. I took a week off with Thanksgiving, and I'm in the gym just working out.
You going home for Christmas?
I will be going home for Christmas. I have to work for a little bit. I coach at Dogwood, so I'm going to work up until at least the 20-something.
So what do you coach at Dogwood?
No, she coaches and she's at
okay. What do you coach?
I coach 16-year-olds in club volleyball.
Is that
cool.
like 575 or
Tsunami Cobb.
Tsunami Cop? Cool.
Yes.
I know just a little bit. I have an 8th grader at home who's dabbled into the realm of volleyball. So very little, but very cool.
Yes.
So what does the volleyball team want for Christmas?
Ooh, what do we want for Christmas? We want
A 6'11" girl
yes.
who bench presses 400.
Damon Robinson with breasts.
Honestly, if Damon,
God.
no, he's such a nice person. I was like, if you had a sister, that had just as much might as you do, please tell Keith. We would love to have someone with his type of personality. I talk to him here and there. He's so sweet. He always speaks whenever we see each other because we do practice in the same place.
Oh, cool.
He's so nice.
My favorite Damon Robinson story is, he went to Murray State before he came to KSU. And one of my best friends, the reason we started the show was a friend of mine that went to Murray State. And Damon went there and played basketball. He said, Damon's always been a great basketball player, but he never was that good at defense. And I told Damon that. He said, did you tell him that I was number 10 in the country in block shots? I said, no, but I will. Damon's a great guy.
He is a great guy.
Tell him we want him on the show. We'd love to have him on.
I will too. I'll pass the message along.
So talk to me a little bit about, you're going to start back in January. The regular season does not start until August?
August, the first week of August.
What does January through July look like for you?
Oh, okay.
Is there any large amounts of off time, or pretty much the whole time we're working?
So from January to April, we'll do 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Practices for at least an hour. We usually go groups, and then halfway through we'll start team practice. And then usually like half of the week we'll work out after, half of the week we'll condition after, and then we'll be done by the end of April. We'll have off until July, and then we'll start back again. But usually all the time it's like open gyms, like we try to stay in shape. We take time, we take vacation, but we know as soon as we get back, we gotta hit it.
Your version of vacation and my version are way different. I don't think any of the girls on the volleyball team are like, hey, let's buy a box of Little Debbie's. Does the
majority of the team hang out together, even not during the season?
Yes, we're like besties. I rooming with my teammates. It's been so fun.
Maggie, right?
Maggie, Leah, and Olivia. We're so close. And then the 5 seniors, they live off campus. I think last year we probably went over there 4 times a week.
Oh, wow.
We do everything together. It's so much
That's awesome.
fun.
That's how you build the chemistry,
Yeah,
right?
that's why we were so close, and that's why I feel like we played a lot of times the way we do on the court.
And I think that's what Coach Schuntzel was talking to you about, being a leader with all these new kids coming
Yeah.
in. You got to be the connector, baby. You got to be the dot connector.
Yes,
And that's
the
not a bad
pucks.
job to have. So
Yeah.
get them out there to play golf at Dogwood. That'd be fun. Even if it'd be hilarious, it'd still be fun.
So do you, I know you didn't have much of a chance while your season's going on because it does go on at the same time as football, but do you personally or you and the girls sometimes, hey, let's go to the women's basketball game tonight. Let's go to let's go to this event or that event.
Yeah, some of us went out to, we had one football game we could make.
Okay, that's cool.
And we went out to that one, and I had a great time. I got to catch up with some alums that played last year. And then I just got a message saying, hey, let's go to the basketball game tomorrow. And I'm like, of course I'm going to be there because they come support us. And although basketball is not my favorite sport to watch, I'll do anything to like support any KSU affiliated anything. Yeah.
Go out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hootie hoo.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you. And on that note, if you were to stare into that camera that's recording everything you say so closely, why should the next recruit come here? I mean, you've already told 4 of them in person, but to the person who is getting ready to go into their senior, or maybe they're a senior right now or getting ready to become a senior, why KSU? Why has it worked out so well for you?
Or that 5th person, what are you going to do to push them over?
Well, one, I don't know any other place in the country where you can live in an apartment as a freshman, and that's so me personally. But also, Kennesaw is about family and community. We want to treat each other well, but we also want to compete. And with us going into a new conference, like, it's going to be so much fun, and there's something you don't want to miss out on with Kennesaw growing every year.
So let me ask you this. Were you recruited by anybody else when you came here? Because you said something about the dorms or living, I'm thinking, just locally for you, like if Samford would have been interested in it, that would have been a 100-year-old building. You'd have been just sharing a bathroom with 19 different girls.
Yeah, I wasn't being heavily recruited due to COVID, and it was picking up very slow. So, like, when I came on my visit and I saw this, I was like, oh, y'all don't have to. Honestly, I was thinking about, I was like, yes, the coaches are great. I was like, the living situation? I don't think it gets any better than this. Like, it really does not.
No, I mean, my daughter, she went to UGA, and she was in a room, and literally everybody on her floor had the shower. And it's like a 100-year-old building, or you can live in something brand new. Unbelievable.
And I'm grateful for that opportunity to just be able to do something like that, because I was like, oh, Lord, I have had my own room. My brother moved out. I've had my own bathroom. Now I'm about to be sitting here having a roommate, having to share a bathroom. I don't know how to do that very well. So I'm just grateful that I had the chance to have my own place.
So you do have one sibling, Demetrius.
Yes.
Is he older or younger?
He is older, 6 years older than me.
Okay. Cool. So,
Well, we're grateful to have you on the show again.
Thank
Absolutely.
I know
you.
that much, yeah.
Yes.
So I know we talked about Maggie, and who was the other girl that was coming in with you?
Lainey.
Laney. So tell them it's still not so bad to be on. You come on back with them, and we'd love to have them on the show the next couple of weeks
Of
if they can
course,
do
of
it.
course.
I know finals are next week.
Yeah, we're all trying to get it out the way.
what are you going to be when you grow up after you retire from your professional volleyball career?
Beach volleyball.
Oh, no. I think I'm going to get into the business side of things in sports.
Sports?
I don't know volleyball specifically, but I do have a passion for volleyball, and I love to watch football. And I also have
that just happens because you're from Alabama, right?
Yes.
Who you for Saturday?
Oh, you already know we roll tide. All
Roll
day, every
Tide,
day.
baby. There you go.
Let's go.
There's just a bunch of
answer. We
Georgia
like that
haters around here.
But I also have a passion helping younger players get the opportunity to play in college, because I got the opportunity to play, and I'm from Alabama, where volleyball is not heavily recruited. So
That's why you're coaching them now, right?
yes.
So on that same level, is there any way that if the folks at Ramsey High School are home watching, is there a chance that you're going to pop in from time to time to possibly help out or talk with the
Become a
volleyball
coach?
girls? Because there's something about, and I use this not to put pressure on you, but, that role model thing. But, there's a sophomore who goes to your high school,
Yeah.
and she's like, I don't know what this is. I got no clue. A setter. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you might come in and give her 4 minutes of your time, and she's like, that's what I want to do. So any thoughts on sharing that kind of stuff with them?
Yes, actually, the head coach at Ramsey now, she was one of the club coaches. And so between, like, club, that club literally is the reason why I'm here now, and my high school, I love to give back in any way I can, whether that's speaking to girls or just going in and playing with them and making them realize, like, this is a blessing that we get to wake up every day and do this, and it's only 2 hours of your day, so come in and enjoy it while you can.
Well, and at the end of the day, and once again, I've never been where you are or walked into a gym and probably commanded so much respect as you would, but to be able to go in and look at somebody and go, I'm getting a world-class education for free because I'm playing sports. That is priceless.
Yeah, it is, because I know my parents would have killed if they could have
Absolutely.
to have this opportunity, and I'm happy that I was able to do this so they wouldn't have to worry about my
Education.
financial,
There you go.
like all of that, and then hopefully I'll be able to do that for when I have kids and the next and next and next. So.
After your professional volleyball career's
After
over,
my professional volleyball
your
career's
kids will
over.
go to Stanford. You'll just,
If they want to, they can go to Kennesaw.
Absolutely.
Hey, if they go to KSU, I'm gonna be a proud alum. Okay.
That a girl.
Oh, you're bringing them. You're bringing them here. And I like that shirt, by the way. You do not see many KSU in Easter egg colors.
I like that.
That's so
I do
true.
too.
Sorry,
I do too.
Well, Coco, thanks. Me and you are hooked on the phone now, so when you and Maggie and Laney are ready, you let me know.
I
All right?
will.
All right.
Thank you guys for
How
having
about a
me.
big hand for
again.
Coco? And a big hooty hoo.
Thank you
All right,
guys.
let's get Alvin Jameson out of the way. Thanks, doll.
Thank you.
you.
Love the hair, too. Growing so long.
Hey, Alvin Jameson here, the mortgage guy. Are you looking to get pre-approved for a home loan? Or maybe you want to build a house from the ground up? Are you curious, or better yet, is your significant other on your back about making renovations in your current home? Call me. I have options for you. All self-employed individuals. Are you torn between writing off all your income or having to show your income to qualify for a house? I have a third alternative for you. Whether you're a W-2 employee, self-employed individual looking to do a purchase or pull money out of your current house, or better yet, we can't forget the investors out there. If you have that high interest rate, hard money loan and looking to refinance out of it, again, give me a call. I have options. Below are the states that I'm personally licensed in. Call me, 404-587-9033. Again, 404-587-9033. Visit the website, alvinjameson.com.
We're back. And great seeing Coco Brown again, that volleyball queen, the queen of setters at KSU.
And the only thing that could possibly rival Coco or our next guest would be watching Larry try to do 5, 4, because you can tell
He goes
it's
from
like
4 to
all of
2
his
and back
fingers
up to
didn't
3.
bend. He's
and
like, I don't know what's going on.
he's struggling. But ladies and gentlemen, if you would, a big hooty hoo for George Oldie.
Hooty hoo!
Hooty hoo.
How are you, sir?
I'm
George,
doing great. How are you?
George and I met at the Marietta Business Association, I think, about 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, probably longer than
Probably longer ago than that. And we stood around at lunch and talked about trivia for as long as we could stand there and talk before they chased us out of the men's sewer center. So George is a wealth of knowledge, big Yankees fan, but George is also a former assistant athletic director at KSU. And if anybody can tell us about the evolution of sports at KSU, it's this dude. So George, welcome, buddy.
Thank you, Chuck.
Tell us about
Appreciate
how
it.
you got on at KSU. And
Well, it's a long story, but a wonderful one. I first got involved with Kennesaw State University through the academic side, not having anything to do with sports. I was working for AT&T, and AT&T Foundation was a sponsor of Marietta's Theater on the Square, and they asked if I would serve on that board so that I could help know where the the AT&T money was being spent. And on that board was Joel Siegel, Dr. Betty Siegel's husband.
Yep.
Randall Bentley, whose dad,
Attorney Fred.
was a trustee, and Bob Prilliman, who is also
that name,
was
yeah.
a trustee, and the Health Science Nursing Building is named for Bob and his wife. So through that, I got to know Dr. Siegel very well, and she asked me to get involved in some academic things. And then I had been a high school coach and teacher in New York before I moved to Atlanta, and was still coaching youth travel ball here in Metro Atlanta, and I had the very first girls fast pitch softball team in Northwest Atlanta, and about that time Kennesaw State was converting from slow pitch to fast pitch. So I called up and introduced myself to Scott Whitlock, who was the women's softball coach at KSU, and we became very, very good friends. He's as close to me as any brother a person could ever have. And Scott got me engaged and involved with the athletic program. And between Dr. Waples, who was the athletic director, and Scott and Dr. Siegel, they kept putting me on different committees and things. And finally, in 2001, they asked me to co-chair a task force about the direction of athletics. And I co-chaired that with Speck Landrum, who was the very first athletic director
Correct.
at KSU. Great gentleman. Also, the first person to coach football at both Georgia and Georgia Tech. He was an assistant to Bobby Dodd, and he was assistant to Mears at University of Georgia.
Wow.
So Speck was a great man, loved him to death. And we had a task force made up of about 40 people. And we
And
probably,
what was what was the goal of the task
the
force?
goal was to determine the direction of athletics. At that point in time, KSU was a Division II school. It started out in athletics as an NAIA school.
Correct.
Converted to NCAA Division II in the early 90s. And we were a powerhouse. We had won 10 national championships in Division II athletics in team sports. That didn't count winning the NAIA individual men's golf championship in 1988. Didn't count all the track and cross-country championships that they had won, but 10 team sport championships in Division II. And we needed to find out where we needed to go. And that task force was made up of faculty, staff, alumni, athletic alumni, current students, student government leaders, community business leaders, and it was 40 people, and we probably interviewed between the 18 months that we met, we probably interviewed well over 100 people that were not part of the task force, not on that task force committee. And we made a recommendation to Dr. Siegel and her cabinet, and she called me aside and said, come here and talk to me, or set up a meeting, I want to talk to you. So I came in, and she said, you know, when are you going to come here and do all these things you told us we needed to do? And I said, well, Dr. Siegel, as a matter of fact, at that point in my life, I was calling her Betty because I had known her for almost 15 years, 20 years at that point. And she said, you got to come here and do all these things you tell us we need to do. And
That's
I said,
a great
well,
list. Now we just
yeah.
need you to do it.
Yeah, I said, well, Dr. Siegel, I said, I can retire from AT&T early next year. Both daughters are out of college. One's married, the other wedding fund is set up, so there are things I can do at that point in life that I can't do today. So about 6 months later, I was working as assistant athletic director, and at that point in time, I just referred to her as Dr. Siegel. She goes, how come you don't call me Betty anymore? I said, because I work for you.
Betty is somebody that you hang out with. This is a work relationship. At this point.
Exactly. And so it was a great experience, and it was amazing. The recommendation of the task force was to move to Division I and to do it in stages. The NCAA allowed us to take 2 programs and move them to Division I first for 1 year, and then the rest of the program, all the other sports, could move. Plus, we needed to add a couple of sports to meet the NCAA Division I
requirements.
minimum. And so we moved women's soccer to Division One, and
Was that because they were good or they were the sacrificial lamb?
combination.
Okay.
Combination.
I understand that.
Rob King was our head coach. Rob had been the head coach at that point for 2 years. In the first year, they had a pretty good season. They lost one game, and that game they lost was in the playoffs. The second year, they won the national championship. And so Rob wanted to do it because he wanted to get the exposure for the program. And he did a great job in that transition. So we were able to do that. We had to add sports. We added women's golf, which was a great addition to the program. And we told the task force told Dr. Siegel and the cabinet, football was in our future, but not immediately. We needed to make sure that we did a lot of things as we transitioned to Division I, which is a huge process under NCAA rules, and then football would be in our future. So that's how we got to where we became a Division I program.
And this
what year was
conversation,
that?
We declared ourselves Division I July 1st of 2005.
So it took us 10 years to get a football team.
Just about, yes. Yes.
wow.
And there had been a football committee. That was one of Dr. Siegel's most important things that she wanted. She had a football committee that I was involved with before I came to work. And then when I came to work as assistant AD, George, you are on the committee. You're staying on the committee. As a staff member, you're on the committee. So it was really great, really great.
And now, what was how long were you with the college before you left?
Well,
the university.
I guess the first time. See, I've retired from KSU athletics 3 times. My objective is not to retire a 4th time. So I was
But
there.
if somebody's offering a job,
No.
we can rope them in the first 3 times.
But I guess it was about 11 and a half years that I retired, and then I came back to help. There was one of my cohorts, Patrick McNeil. He had left to go to Oakland University up in Detroit, and so that we knew we were getting ready for football. That football was going to be that next fall, and I approached Vaughn and I said, Vaughn Williams was the AD at that time. I said, Vaughn, I'm not retiring, but I will come in and help Aaron Wissing, who was director of development, to do the things that needed to get done for football, filling the suites and helping to bring in more people to buy tickets. So I did that for, I guess, about 9 months, and then left. And then I was I was traveling in Europe when Vaughn Williams left to go to Boston
BC.
College.
Yeah.
And I get an email from the university that said the subject line, to our favorite American in Paris. And the content was, when you get home, come see us. That's all it said. So I got home, and 2 days later I went into campus to see what the issue was. And 2 days after that I was back, and I was to help transition to whoever the new athletic director was going to be.
Didn't know at the time it'd be Milton.
And Milton was the person that the search committee recommended, and he was hired, and he was introduced, I think it was on a Wednesday or Thursday, and he was going to start the next month, the first of the next month. And so that Saturday he stuck around for that weekend because we had a home football game. So that Saturday morning, Milton and I met in one of the suites, and I went through all the projects that were going on, all the things that were happening. And I said, and you know, Milton, I'm done the end of the month. He says, oh, no. He said, Dr. Olin said I could keep you as long as I wanted to. And
Wow.
I said, well, Milton, I really like retirement, so let's make a deal. So I did the Monty Hall, door number 1, door number 2. I said, Milton, I will give you a 90-day notice when I'm ready to stop working. But Milton, you can give me a 1-day notice
When you're
not to
ready.
come back tomorrow. And I said, that'll be fine
I'll
with
give
me.
you 90. You give me 12 hours. We're all
I'm good.
Just about. Well, it ended up being 18 months. So in 15 months in, I gave him a 90-day notice, and I gave him an odd date. It was in the middle of a month, and it was a Friday, which is not too odd. And he said, why'd you pick that date? I said, Milton, I said, the next day we're playing at then SunTrust Park. I said,
The Jacksonville
State game. I said, I want to go to that game as a fan. I don't want to go to that game
and have
and work.
responsibility.
Yeah, because I had been so involved with the football committee, and then as we were moving forward within the athletic department, all the things that needed to be done to start football.
Right.
Because ticketing was under my responsibility, as was anything that touched external affairs was my functionality. I bought the very first football tickets. I was the first person to sign up for football tickets for KSU football. And I said, I want to go to the SunTrust Park to watch us play. I don't want to be a worker that day. He says, all right. So
That's cool. Well, we're gonna have
an
some more.
incredible game.
Oh,
Incredible! 3 or 4 overtimes, right?
I think it was 5.
5. Yes.
5, and then the NCAA changed the rule that after the second, you have to go for 2 points on a touchdown conversion.
Yeah, they have fake overtime now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right.
For babies.
So we got one more
Not
commercial.
for adults. Adults play real football.
We got one more commercial. We'll get in there. We're going to continue with George. Let's do our American Axe commercial.
Okay, sorry. I just had to do something there.
Robert's pulling it up.
Is it okay?
There we go. Tired of going to the same old places for the same old thing? American Access has your solution. Whether you're looking for something new to do before or after the game, bachelor or bachelorette party, or somewhere new to take those out-of-town guests, American Access has 3 Atlanta locations located in Marietta, Tucker, and now in downtown at the Works. Each and every location is conveniently and definitely not coincidentally located next to a brewery. Look us up at American Access or give us a call at 678-763-3635 to schedule your next adventure.
And we want to thank Dan Fisher with American Access, Alvin Jameson with his lending company, and Brian Bristow with Kennesaw and Lost Mountain Express Lube for being sponsors of the Owl Show. We're visiting with our good buddy George Olney. We had Coco Brown on earlier, the queen of the setters in ASUN volleyball. But, that brings up a good point. Did you ever, George, realize or think that we'd be moving to Conference USA in 2024?
No, I didn't, and I'll tell you why I didn't think that. At the point football started, in terms of its first games, Dr. Papp was the president, and Dr. Papp was very cautious about where we took the athletic program and where we took football, especially. But to our benefit, the NCAA rules have changed to allow us to move to Conference USA, to move to, using the old terminology, 1A football versus 1AA, which is now called football bowl
FBS,
series.
right?
And it is allowing us to make that move. It's going to give a greater exposure to the university.
Huge.
It's people in New Mexico have no idea who Kennesaw State is.
But they will.
They think it was named after the first commissioner of baseball, but it has
Kennesaw
nothing to do
Mountain
with that.
Landis.
Spelled differently, though.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But it's going to give us great exposure. I remember when we didn't have football, and friends of mine, co-workers of mine, colleagues from the enrollment services area would tell us that when they went out to college fairs for high school groups, that groups of high school students, boys and girls, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, would come up to the table and they'd say, "Do you guys have football?" And they would say, "Not yet." And they said most of the time most of those kids in that group would turn around and walk away. Because they saw college football as a great part of the college experience they wanted as students. They weren't student athletes necessarily, but that was part of the college experience.
Yep.
I mean, if you were at opening game this year and saw those freshmen running out in the 27
At the first of the game, it took about 10 minutes for all of them to run out.
Yeah, when you got that many freshmen. So we became a destination place for kids to come to school here. And it's a great academic university. It's just incredible. We are so blessed to have Dr. Schwag as our president right now. When I saw her, the first time I saw her after she was selected as the new president of the university, I said, Dr. Schwag, I called her Kat because I've known her for 20 years, not working for her. and I don't want to work for her. So I said, Kat, I said, I'm so happy for you. I said, but I'm happier for KSU that you're the new president. She is a dynamic leader.
She's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dynamic leader, knows what she's doing, and listens to people and makes great decisions.
Well, I keep asking her to be on the show, so maybe you can send her this way.
I will.
She's a great lady. She's very, very fabulous.
I'll tell her after I took the show to the bottom, there's only one place to go but up, and Kat, you got to do it.
No, that's funny.
Not at all.
So it's so funny, you talk about exposure for the school. Next year when we're playing on Tuesday and Wednesdays, we're the only game in town. People love football. They're going to watch Kennesaw. And I know I've talked about this on the show before, but when I went to the NC Regional Tournament basketball, and we were walking in with a bunch of Xavier people, and they would hit us on the shoulder and say, "Where is Kennesaw?" Nobody knew where Kennesaw State is. But I tell you, by the end of that game, they had heard us sing, "You Don't Want to Go to War with the Owls" enough that everybody in that gym, except for the Xavier fans, were singing it with us. So they learned about Kennesaw State, and I think that's the greatest thing that can happen to KSU by going to Conference USA is the exposure.
Exactly. You're totally right, Joe.
Yeah.
It's
And-
nothing better.
And we talk about it on the show. I know a couple of athletes we've had on are now getting NIL deals, which we think is fabulous, which is what this show is all about. Because we know if somebody gives $500 to Georgia or Alabama, Clemson doesn't mean much. You give $500 to KSU, you're part of a family and you're part of something. We've given $1,100 to the school, and it makes us so much closer to them.
It's amazing what the NIL process has done, and clearly the NCAA had no idea what was going on because they came up with no plan to regulate it. I don't know if you guys heard.
It's a wild west.
Yeah, Coach Rule, the head coach at Nebraska.
Adam was talking about this before the game.
Yeah, he said, a good quarterback in the portal, you need $1 to $1.5 to $2 million.
That's what I said.
That's exactly what Adam said.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And all the kids that are jumping, it's crazy. All the
Well,
kids that have already
and you have the defending Heisman Trophy winner who halfway through the season, when his dad was asked a question, he said, "Well, if teams are tanking for my son, we don't have to go. We're making $3 million a year while
Right
he's
here.
still in college." So
yeah.
it is a difference.
So,
yeah.
so I learned from James Madison that you have to wait 2 years before you can go play in a bowl game, unless in their case, if there weren't enough teams to fill the slots for bowl games. So we're going to run into that too, right?
When we transitioned from D2 to D1, it was a 4-year transition.
Oh, wow.
We were not eligible to compete for any national championship in any sport
Wow,
for 4
I
years.
didn't know that.
So I don't feel sorry for James Madison and Jacksonville State having to wait 2 years to play in a bowl game, but because there weren't enough schools that got 6
Did
wins.
Jack State get into?
But they're both going to bowl games. I don't know
Okay.
where they're going to go, but as the old joke with Coach Lou Holtz was, as long as we're not playing in the cereal bowl, it's okay.
There you go.
Yeah, that's cool. Or the toilet bowl.
And actually, there is a cereal bowl this year. I saw something.
No, there's
it's a Pop-Tarts bowl.
Where
Yes.
people are gonna eat
You
the
can-
mascot
you can
after
eat
the
the
game.
Pop-Tart.
They're
Have
going
you
to
seen
hand.
that?
They're going to hand a massive Pop-Tart at the end, and their idea is that in
Anybody on the winning
2023,
team can
everybody's
come
going to
take a
start
bite
biting
of the
on the same. Like,
Much
who's doing
better
that?
than the mayonnaise bowl where they
The Duke's
dump
Mayo Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they
Dump.
dump the
Well,
mayo over
The
the
Pop
window.
Tart
it was
Bowl
a-
is replacing the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah.
So instead of getting cheese dumped
The
over your
first
head, you can go
Cheez-It
eat-
Bowl.
Yeah, you can go eat a Pop Tart. So that's
Let me
kind of crazy.
ask you this question.
Sure.
It's a question I've always been wondering ever since we started the show, and I know, I'm not asking for any inside information, just your gut on this one. When we expand to more sports, when we add a male sport, we'll have to add a female sport. Do you have any idea what direction the university may choose to go when we add a couple sports?
That I don't know. But I will tell you that with the consolidation of Southern Poly and KSU, that gave us a much better position from a Title IX perspective of the male-female student ratio.
Correct.
So we're in a good position now. I don't know if we're planning to have another sport, be it a male sport or a female sport, but I do know that we are in a good position from a Title IX perspective. So that's something. I mean, to recall a lot of stuff that was going on, we were asked to add men's hockey, ice hockey. And
Well, there's a place down there at Lower Roswell you can practice at.
yeah, and
You used to have one right here.
and that
They
would
got a
have been,
new
that
rink
would have been
in
a-
Sandy Springs.
See that?
that would have been a very exciting thing to do. Unfortunately, we couldn't justify it from a Title IX perspective, and we also couldn't justify it from a financial perspective.
Correct. Hockey is one of the most expensive sports, and you're not exactly in the
Well,
causeway of good hockey players.
Here's a couple of factors about NCAA men's ice hockey. It starts before basketball, and its Frozen Four is a week after the March Madness Final Four.
Yeah, it's in April,
It's the
yeah.
longest season, and there's only one well, at that point, this is about 15 years ago, there was only one NCAA program south of the Mason-Dixon line, basically, that had men's ice hockey, and that was University of Alabama, Huntsville. And we were told that if we had ice hockey, that Harvard and Notre Dame and Boston College and Minnesota would all come down to play us because they would all love to have a southern trip. So we talked, Dr. Waples talked to the AD in Huntsville, and he said, Dr. Waples, he said, I'll pull my drawer out here and I'll show you all the letters I got from those colleges that said they would come and play us. They've never come to play us one time.
That's
so
funny.
that was an interesting challenge. But we're in a different world today.
Sure, sure.
Because of the consolidation, we have a much better Title IX perspective. Before that, having huge early childhood education program and a huge nursing program, that made our male-female ratio much out of line with what we needed to be to add football. But the consolidation and everything that happened there, helped us along that way. And, football's got some interesting challenges this year. I think what Coach Bohannon did this year, what Brian did this year, was his best coaching job for many reasons. The record didn't reflect it. But if you look at
changing everything.
If you look at reality, they didn't have a championship to play for. So what's the incentive?
Correct.
They had a totally new offensive scheme that those kids were not
Recruited to play.
or ever taught to play, because most of those kids came out of same triple option high school program to come to KSU, and they're a lot smaller than what you need to do in a pistol kind of environment. And the NCAA rules changed, and Brian and I have talked about this. The NCAA rules have changed so much that triple option offense, it's very, very difficult to be effective anymore because of the new blocking rules.
Correct.
All of that is impacting what you can do on the field. So I don't think this is a secret. Almost 2 years ago, they made the decision they were going to have to change their offensive scheme. Mm-hmm. And,
So did the move to Conference USA expedite that?
I'm sorry?
Did the move to Conference USA expedite that?
No, I think that came
was
about.
coming.
That was coming. I think the only thing that really changed was when Brian Newberry, who was a good friend of ours, the new head coach at Navy, who was our defensive coordinator, took Grant Chestnut to Navy, and therefore Brian had to get a new offensive coordinator. So that kind of made that transition decision quicker than we might have done it. Okay. But both, coaching without that championship ring at the end, coaching with a new defensive and offensive coordinator, all of those things, plus these juniors and seniors that were not recruited to play in that pistol offense, made this the most difficult
Absolutely.
program. But how competitive they were, I think, if my memory serves me, I think they
were in every ball game. Yeah.
4 or 5 of those losses came late in the game.
Absolutely.
I think Brian Bohannon has done more for this university with what success he's brought with the football program than almost anyone else on the academic or the athletic side.
And you're probably correct, because the same, just using the same example that you gave earlier, where high school kids are saying, do you guys play football? Do you have a football team? No, and you walk away. In this area, because it's such a huge thing, people want to be part of it. And the idea, I talk about when the Buccaneers first became a football team, they didn't win for like the first 2.5 years. And they always say that if they go undefeated for the next 15 years, they'll still have a losing record. Nobody starts the way we did. We will never have a losing record. We are going to have this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We won 50 games in fewer attempts than any
Any
school,
other team.
Anybody.
in NCAA history.
So, it's
Absolutely.
funny because you talk about what brings people here, and Coco said it best when she was interviewed. She said the dorms. She said the dorms and the food. When we asked all the athletes where they came from or why they came here, that was it. She said, love the people, love the area, but the dorms and the food are incredible.
Oh, yeah.
So we appreciate totally your input on KSU, but I know you, and I know you're a huge sports fan. What's going to happen in college football this weekend, George?
Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and Texas.
Texas.
No, wait. No
wild
Washington
card.
or Oregon?
Well, I'm going through the championship games because
Oh,
Texas
okay.
is playing Oklahoma State.
Correct.
I haven't gotten west of Denver yet.
Oh, okay,
And,
okay.
And I think Bo Nix is going to upset Washington.
I think so.
I
think there's a
I
can't
think
be
so,
an upset.
too.
They're 9.5-point favorites.
And in my opinion, that's the big upset. I don't think anyone else gets upset.
So
They're the best team I've seen play this year. Oregon's a good football team.
So based on what you just said, Georgia's in, Michigan's in. Florida State, you said, would win, so they should probably be in. Is Oregon that 4 spot?
Well, is it Oregon? Is it Texas? Who becomes that fourth school?
Well, I just think on that final week, if number 5 Oregon beats number 3, man, that's awfully powerful.
It's
in the
tough to
polls
leave Oregon
as
out.
opposed to OK State.
Yep, I hear
Yeah,
you.
OK State's not getting in. Nobody with 2
No.
losses getting in.
I think-
No, but
Nobody that's
you're
not
getting-
playing this weekend is going to get in.
Yeah, I think I read or heard one of the analysts say that the Alabama victory over Auburn really messed up a lot of the.
Oh, it
thinking.
did. Because if Auburn wins that game, then there's all sorts of different scenarios that are available.
Hey, well, Alabama's out, but now they're not. They beat Georgia. Man, that's going to cause a big mess.
Well, you go back about 30 years ago when Notre Dame had beaten Florida State during the regular season.
Oh,
And then Florida
don't
State.
even get me started on that one. That was
Yeah.
the worst.
Oh, because Bobby Bowden, he controlled a lot of influence.
But
Yes, he did.
I used to talk to people who were younger than me, and I used to always say, back when I was a kid, the number 1 team played at the Rose Bowl, the number 2 team played in the Sugar Bowl, number 3 team played in the Orange Bowl. Nobody ever played anybody, and that was one of the last years of that horrendous
Exactly.
thing where you looked at how can it be 1-2? But
And
but
now we're
that's
going
great
to a
point.
12-game playoffs, which is going to be nuts.
Well, when I was really young, it was Newt was trying to find a game to play.
Well, we're running a little over, but George, we want you to come back if you would.
I'll be
Absolutely.
glad to. Be glad
Awesome.
to. Be glad
How about
to.
a big hootie hoo for George Irwin? And we're happy to be back. Like I said, we've been gone for a couple of weeks. Well, we're back through the holidays and look forward to not only getting into 2024, but seeing what KSU does in Conference USA. So we're heading that way, and we're heading that way fast. Until then, let me be the first person to wish you a Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week here at Miller's Ale House.